Bleedy all the same, baby, I already know. Tell me that you love me, baby, I know that you don't. I don't know if you're cigarette, baby, I don't need to smoke. Driving $90 an hour just to see how fast I go. Monster, oh, you turn me to a monster. Love protect me from the wicked. Monster, oh, you turn me to a monster. Love protect me from the wicked. Let them know your name. Let them know the pain. Sacrifices you made, won't let them be in vain. Lord, it's a world, we're just spinning in it. Lord, it's a world, we're just living in it.
I'm going to talk about persecution. Yep, here we go. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for the longest time. I really wanted to make an impact with that intro. Just gonna cut straight to the point. The reason why I'm making this, I'm trying to put a picture in your head of the reality of the church right now. And this topic, believe it or not, has been in my mind since the beginning of this year. Just know that there are Christians on the other side of the world going through much worse things that you would ever go through. I did not plan that. I'm just saying, it's wild. That was weird. But it's true. I mean, the Christianity we have this here, it's nothing compared to over there. And that's a whole nother TED Talk that I would go off on. And actually, ever since I learned about Paul Washer, just seeing everything unfold really puts things in perspective. I tend to gravitate to that word, perspective, because it's going to take perspective to really adhere to what I'm trying to say. I'm going to try to be very systematic and strategic here. I don't consider myself an expert per se. I've been captivated by the terms of persecution and martyrs. And over the summer, I've been reading over this book called Persecuted. And if you follow my Instagram, you will see how often I was taking notes and work started and then I kind of dropped it. But then again, considering everything that has happened in the past month alone, I've been fired up again because there's a plethora of things to cover when it comes to persecution, but I want to give you the main idea. It's something that has been captivating me, so bear with me. I also want to be very strategic with this. I am not looking for fluff or anything like that. I don't consider myself anything different. I am a very uninteresting person, but I'm very passionate and I'm very curious and I love to learn, and I'm just sharing what I've learned over the summer. And I'm sharing with you everything that I've accumulated in these notes, in this book, in this book, in this book, and especially in this book. I tend to make videos long, so bear with me. I'm going to try to make this interesting. When we hear the word persecution, what comes to your mind? What do you think about? The first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word persecuted? And so I want you to think about it for a bit before I give you a definition that was given from this book. Another question I want to ask you, are we embarrassed to talk about Christ for fear of being disliked? Are we embarrassed to talk about Christ for fear of being canceled? Are we embarrassed to talk about Christ for fear of being labeled as weird or strange or odd? Are we afraid of what the consequences may come when it comes to speaking about Christ? We have it so easy here. We really do. We have it so easy in this Bible Belt. We have it so easy in this nation. We have it so easy. We take things for granted, But I'm hoping that when we really dive in, and what I mean by we, I'm trying to show you in this video a perspective of what goes on the other side of the world, because not a lot of us like to just scroll and search what really is going in the other side of the world. We tend to be self-centered. We tend to be in our own little world and me. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating our blessings. There's nothing wrong with taking it each day at a time, but sometimes we have to step back and really see things in perspective. Again, I say perspective because perspective humbles anyone. See the perspective of not just what's going on in church, but also the perspective of eternal life. That is something that I'm so passionate about when it comes putting this life is just a vapor. It's just a vapor. Interestingly, today, just to show you the timeline of what has led to making this, not that anyone cares, but it's a Sunday. It's Sunday, what's today? September 21st. It's been a week since Charlie Kirk died, and the accumulation of everything that's been happening this week is just too much to ignore. And I'm telling you, there's plenty of people on the internet right now posting their voices, posting their opinions, posting boldly the truth, and some others are misinforming people. So we really need to be discerning of everything we see online, because we can easily be just swayed to and fro. And if we really want to put things in perspective, again, I say it's good versus evil. This week, just seeing people come together for Christ yesterday, especially the day before yesterday at the Texas Youth Summit, and then watching Ali Stuckey speak about things that have already been pressing in my mind about good versus evil. Also, today's service happens to be about Stephen, Acts 6 and 7. And I kid you not, like, I had it written here. This is the first person I'm about to talk about is Stephen. He's the first martyr. And just hearing Pastor talk about him and how his life echoed Jesus Christ and how we are supposed to emulate that. It's just so encouraging and inspiring that lo and behold, I'm like, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's go with it, you know? I don't have all the answers, but what I hope to get through this is to encourage you to really open the word. Like, really open the word. Ask your pastors about any questions you have, and be encouraged to dive deep. Be encouraged to not be ashamed of the gospel, and be encouraged to really follow Christ, because once you follow him, goodness gracious, it's going to change. So, according to this book, Persecution, the U.S. International Religious Freedom Act, or IRFA of 1998, contains a useful description of what persecution actually means. It helps to determine which countries should be designated the worst offenders of religious freedom, or countries of particular concern. It defines violations of religious freedom to include arbitrary prohibitions on restrictions of or punishment for assembling for peaceful religious activities such as worship, preaching, and prayer, speaking freely about one's religious beliefs, changing one's religious beliefs and affiliation, possession of and distribution of religious literature, including Bibles, raising one's children in the religious teachings and practices of one's choice. Other violations of religious freedom as specified include arbitrary registration requirements. So, persecution, according to this, if they assemble peacefully, if they speak freely about their beliefs, if they want to change their beliefs, if they possess a Bible, raising one's children in the religious teachings and practices of one's choice, their consequences are arbitrary registration requirements, and also detention, interrogation, penalties, forced labor, forced mass resettlement. So they get to move from their home to another place. They need to resettle somewhere else. Imprisonment, forced religious conversion, beating, torture, mutilation. Mutilation, that means cutting off body parts. Rape, enslavement, murder, and execution. Now, there's different types of execution out there, and there is a non-extensive list of it, and I'm pretty sure you can imagine what these people go through when it comes to their religion. What we mean by the word persecution in this book is that there are Christians in the countries of focus who are tortured, raped, imprisoned, or killed for their faith. Their churches may also be attacked or destroyed. Their entire communities may be crushed by a variety of deliberately targeted measures that may or may not entail violence. And all of them most certainly experience, as the RFA puts it, flagrant denial of the right to life, liberty, security of person. So, all in all, which you probably already came to mind, persecution basically means losing their freedom of practicing your religion. And it may cost your life. Put it bluntly, it costs your life to follow Christ. Take up your cross and follow me. Oh goodness, that is the definition of persecution. We have some thick skin to grow in this country. But why persecution? Why do people get persecuted? Of course, it is for their beliefs. You know, when it comes down to it, it's for their beliefs. But according to this, it's for total political control, of course. If you look at the communist regimes of North Korea and China, it's all total political control. You know, you do what I say. You do what I say. You believe what I believe. You know, even though there's some leeway when it comes to China and underground churches, but still, in the big picture, the government is in control of those churches. So you can't really have that freedom per se. The reason why there's persecution is to preserve religions in the area. So let's say that you are in this far off country in the middle of nowhere. Of course, there's going to be tribes with their own beliefs. And if I'm going to mention the Middle East, they want to preserve the Muslim community. So, you know, they're going to preserve the religions in the area. Also, we saw this in the Crusades. Islamic dominance, Middle East. You see a lot of persecution, especially in that area. There's a lot of bloodshed. All in all, it's been happening throughout history. It's actually, this is nothing new. Persecution has been happening throughout history. It's been happening since the dawn of time. And like I've mentioned before, we only see it now because we have phones. We see this book open up. We see the truth in it really come to life. Another reason why I've been really passionate about this topic is mainly because Pakistan has a soft spot in my heart. And all I want to say for that part is that those people are hungry for the word. They're hungry to know more about Christ. Thankfully, through some friends, I've had the opportunity and the privilege to talk to them about Christ. And not in a Elizabeth Elliot kind of way, because I did not travel there, but you know, I did do some video calls over the past 2 years or 3 years. I've been doing that, and I just want to say that it's very encouraging to see people that are really in a very persecuted, heavy country. They're wanting to get closer to Christ, and their Bibles, they're in Urdu, and they're learning to read it, and just seeing the brotherhood and sisterhood that is in that country is so beautiful. And I must say, they're really bold, and I would say they're very brave and courageous to practice their faith in, I can't even, as you can see, these people are in these places. I think there was one time where I did hear some screaming in the middle of the video call, and to hear that was really eye-opening. I mean, thankfully everything was okay, but here I am in my office, safe, not being persecuted for speaking freely about this, not being persecuted for speaking freely about God. Was able to go to church the next morning. I was shocked. And to see it live, to hear it live, it was humbling. And man, this is why I'm so passionate about this. This is why I'm so passionate about this topic, because of the reality that the people are facing in the other side of the world. Luke 9:23 says, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must carry the cross and follow me." So here we are. And he also says it daily. It's a daily thing. And man, the struggle is real. It really is, especially in this time. And so that's what I want to bring to the table with this. Give him the glory. Like I said before, you may not like the videos I post. You may not like anything that I do. You may not care. Sorry, I was eating popcorn. But I know I have family and friends that, like I said, message me. I can even put screenshots of the messages that I've gotten with deep questions and questions about Christ. And that is so fulfilling. The views, once I know that this has been viewed so many times, that tells me a lot. And I've done my part. If it touches one person, I've done enough. And like I said before, this is not my main ministry. My family is my main ministry. And I, again, am very passionate about expressing my thoughts. I'm very passionate about sharing what I've learned and just encouraging people to be bold. And this is what I want to bring to the table here. This is my main purpose. Not for fluff, not for validation, not for, I don't consider myself better than anyone. I'm actually really, like I said, really strange. I'm really weird. I really don't fit in anywhere. But one thing that I do like is once I zone in on something, I like to pour my heart out. And this is me pouring my heart out for Christ's glory, because these people deserve recognition, and these people, our brothers and sisters on the other side of the world, deserve that recognition. They deserve that they're not fighting in vain. And I want to encourage you to speak up. Don't be ashamed of talking about Christ. Don't be ashamed of posting about Christ all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. And who cares if people call you weird? Who cares if you are disliked? Who cares if you're blocked? Who cares if you're unfriended? Trust me, I've gone through that, especially during that time with Roe versus Wade being overturned. And when I talked about immigration, oh man, even my own family cursed me out. And I laugh, not because I'm petty. I guess because it's sad to see this type of reality. I just want people to see the big picture. It's not Republicans versus Democrats. It's not liberals versus conservatives. It's not this versus that. It's good versus evil. It's principalities. We don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities. Ephesians 6 says that. If we can just take our blinds off of our eyes and we could see in the 3D, 4D dimension and the overhead of angels and demons in our world. I mean, in the book of Job, doesn't God say, "Where have you been?" And Satan says, "Going to and fro, roaming around." But one thing I like about Job, I'll say this: Job and Ecclesiastes are my hands down my favorite books of the Bible, because really they're very blunt and brutally honest about life, and that's how I tend to be, or not to be dark, but it's the dark reality. But the hope is in Christ. He didn't touch Job unless with the permission of Christ. He is sovereign, and that should give us hope. That should give us comfort. The Lord said to Satan, "From where have you come?" Satan answered, "The Lord said, from going to and fro on the earth and from walking up and down to it." Hopefully puts a picture in your head that it's not flesh and blood that we fight against. We wrestle against cosmic powers. This present darkness is the cosmic powers in the heavenly places. Think of that. Cosmic powers in this present darkness in the heavenly places. Mind blown, right? You really have to put things in perspective. Like I said before, put things in perspective and see what you really are fighting here is, the real enemy, who it is. And again, I say, put on the full armor. Armor up. So, without further ado, let me go on with persecution. Again, I tell you, I want to go systematically through history, but I'm going to choose certain people in these histories, is not much, to really paint a picture of what it has been, how this all has unraveled for God's glory. So, here we go.
Let them know your name. Let them know the pain. Sacrifices you made won't let them be in vain. Lord, it's your world, we're just spinning in it. Lord, it's your world, we're just living in it.